And I'm live. I am going to have some punch, because why not, right? I haven't had a drop of alcohol for almost a month, so a little bit of punch can't be bad. It's kind of like medicine, right? A little bit. I haven't actually had an issue with a stomach ulcer for a week now, so it should be fine to have a little bit of alcohol. Punch is basically just use or something, whatever. Who's with us? Baltasar, Michael Knight, Follower Friend, Pajau, Tjernberg, Greg, Nobel Carl, Sigstrad och Plopp, Pop-Trump Värder, Normal Citizen, äntligen fredag. Johan och Kasper. All right. Skål på er. Sweet. So I've been mainly working, not having time to do anything. I see some people in chat are actually watching from while hunting moose. I'm going up hunting next weekend and I'll be hunting for a week. I'll probably, no, next Friday I'll have a stream and the Friday after that as well. It's going to be a short hunt for me this year. Just like 5 days or something, Saturday to Thursday or whatever. So we'll see what I find, if anything. MRD Pajau says I need Fernet. No, punch. Classic Swedish stuff. Anyway, so I'm gonna get ready for the hunt. Zero my rifles. And I'm gonna have some friends I haven't seen in like 5, 6, 7 years or something, from when I was hunting in Scotland. So their whole family basically is coming. 3 brothers and their father, lovely people. They have a mountain in Scotland where I've been hunting several times. Shot my first red stag there. Really fun hunt. So you know, when you're hunting moose, you're basically just sitting in a tower having a cup of coffee, waiting for the guy with the dog to shoot the moose. Then you end up butchering that moose the rest of the day after you punishingly drag it out of the forest. Hunting moose is more work than fun, but hunting in Scotland is actually quite fun. Red deer or red stag or whatever, for example. So it's more of an actual hunt where you try to go against the wind, glass all the time, and you sneak around. Right. Blue Blood Eagle wants to know which AR-10 I'm going to buy for hunting. I don't know, actually. I saw some other people getting their licenses. People in my Discord channel gotten their licenses. You can get an AR-15 on a hunting license, class 2. You can get an AR-10 on a hunting license, class 1. It just has to have an 18-inch or 20-inch barrel, I guess. That's pretty much it. And then you need like a 5-round magazine or a 2-round magazine, depending on what you're... Oh, 3 or 5 is it? It is, I think. Whatever. Depending on what you're hunting. So if you're hunting a moose, you can get a 5-rounder. If you're hunting a bear, you can get a 2 or 3-rounder, for example. And when you're at the shooting range, you can have a regular capacity magazine. And if you buy it on a hunting license, it does not matter. You can buy whatever size magazine you want. The regulations is just while hunting. Connor is picking up his Ruger MPR tomorrow. Let's just Google Ruger MPR and check out what Conrad is getting. So, yeah, man, this is a standard direct impingement AR-15. This is some nice shit. This isn't bad at all. So I'm guessing it's in 5.56, so something like this. This is an 18-inch barrel. So you can just unthread that and put whatever on, like a suppressor. I hope you're getting a suppressor as soon as possible. So this is nice. Good for you. enjoy that rifle. It's gonna be fun. It's probably gonna be super nice for hunting deer. Some other guy I saw got this, the Daniel Defense MK12 18-inch barrel, but it has this humongous quad rail on it that makes it super heavy. But yeah, it's never gonna break or anything, but yeah, that's a bit too heavy for me. Another guy got this. This is a bit slimmer with an M-lock on it. That's gonna be less weight. So yeah, this is probably gonna be a super nice hunting rifle as well. So with this free floating handguard, you don't have to worry about shit like with traditional rifles, where you rest it on a tree or something and your point of impact shifts from your point of aim. I don't know why this vertical forward grip is so far forward, but I guess Bigfoot owned this rifle. Yeah, but stuff like this is perfectly fine to get on a hunting license right now in Sweden, so that's nice, right? So I hope each and every one of you is getting an AR-15 or an AR-10. So the question was, which one will I get? I kind of wanted to get the Perun AR-10 because it has a folding stock, not the buffer tube. But and I already have a Heinel AR-10, so I wanted one in 308 just for hunting. It will be fun, but I'm not sure right now what I will get. I'm not going to get it in time for this hunting season, so I'm just going to go with my regular rifles. I'm going to have my lever action 4570. So that's what I'm going to hunt with. And I'm also going to bring my 6.5 or 55 Carl Gustaf. But yeah, I'm gonna get an AR-10 sooner or later, but I'm not sure which one I'll get. I'm not sure. We'll see what I'll get. I did get my Perun 300 Blackout 8-inch barrel rifle. So let's see here. Did I get a picture of that? So I still need to do some paperwork here in Sweden for that Perun rifle. Oh, seems like I don't have a picture of it. Or do I? Yeah, here it is. So that's what it looks like. It's at Action Reaction Sports right now. And let's see here. So since I can't really use it right now, too many buttons, I'm gonna borrow it to the newspaper Vapentidningen. It's a gun magazine in Sweden, basically. And I already borrowed them my Dragunov SVD, and the reporter shot it and took a bunch of pictures of it last year. And the same guy is going to borrow the Perun in 300 Blackout and do a review of that. So I don't know when that will come, but it's in a paper, Vapentidningen, the gun paper or whatever. I'm not bothering with that right now. I'm going to put in all the paperwork to the Swedish police, and then we'll see what they say. A little bit more punch, but I'm hoping I'll be able to bring it back home sometime after I'm back from hunting. Let's see here, what else are you guys talking about? 4 to 5 weeks to wait for a license in the western part of south of Sweden. Pajau says someone got a license on a Polish AK-47. That's probably, there's several Polish AKs, but VDP or whatever it's called, that makes the Yak. I know several people who has a license for that, but that's for sport shooting. I'm not sure if they actually make something with 18 inches. Brian says, does anyone use 338 Federal in Sweden? I've never seen it. Ille wants to know, can you also have an AG M42 or an SVT40, etc. for hunting? Yes, of course. Anything that's semi-auto, and so it might be hard with an SVT40 or something, depending on magazine size. If I remember correctly, that has like 10 round magazines, and since it's internal, or is it the SVT40? So you're gonna have to be able to have the hunting regulated size magazine in it, right? So that can be a little bit hard. SVT40, does it say how many? Yeah, it's a 10 round detachable box magazine for the SVT40. I guess you could somehow get an extra magazine for it and disable it so it only can take 5 rounds. I guess it's technically possible. So yeah, and same with the AGM42. But yeah, it's gonna be sad if you nerf those guns. Just get an AR-10 or 15 instead, because that's the objectively better firearm. Get those in a collector's license or something instead. Hello Viking 1, skål på dig. What else are you guys saying? Diamondback ARs, I don't know anything about those either. Greg wants an MR 307, 308 I guess you're meaning. Yeah, I wouldn't buy an HK. It's kind of expensive because it's just second-hand market. It's going to be hard to find a new one. They're hideously expensive and have their own. If you're buying the AR-10 version like the MR 308, then you're going to have to source those Moonrock magazines as well. Many years ago, those were easy to find on a surplus market. Now I haven't seen those magazines like 10 rounders or 20 rounders since forever, but they might exist someplace. In Germany, you're only ever going to find 10 rounders or 5 rounders. But it's a nice rifle, I guess. But yeah, it's the HK tax on those. Nice blade collection on the wall. Yeah, it's just a few of my bayonets. I put them in a little spread just for aesthetic reasons. Weather from wants to know if the police grants licenses for shorter than 16-inch barrels now. Not that I know. So I'm a bit awkward about my barrel since it's going to be 8 inches. So we'll see what happens. But what I'm doing is replacing my current. I have an 8.5-inch barrel for my current Firearm Blackout. So what I'm doing is just replacing the license from my old one to the new one, and then I'm gonna basically scrap the upper, the barrel, and the bolt for the old one. Is Action Reaction Sports a good company to buy from? Yes, they're great friends of mine. Both of them are members of my shooting club. I've known them for many years personally. They're great guys, really talented, mad scientists when it comes to fun rifles. They're the guys that show up at an IPSC competition with a super blinged out AK and kick ass. And if you need anything modified, anything modified, they can do it for you. Just throw money at them and they can make your dreams come true. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, they're really good, and they've messed with most of my rifles at one time or another. They basically made a match trigger for my MP5 from scratch. A bunch of shit. They're really good. To be just wants to know if Firearm Blackout is class 1. No, it is not. So the class 1, class 2, etc. is Jules on target at 100 meters. A Firearm Blackout, even if you have a supersonic one, it's going to be too slow. It's going to be slower than an AK 7.62 by 39 basically, or approximately the same speed. And an AK, even though it's 7.62, is not class 1, it's still class 2. So a Firearm Blackout is class 2 at best. So just do the calculations on exit velocity, bullet weight, and yeah, energy on target, and you'll see. It's just the speed. If it was a 308, it would be class 1. File when the weather friend says the Polish barrel AK in 223 has an 18-inch barrel, so it's hunting approved, but the X39 has a shorter barrel. Okay, let's have a look at the Polish barrel then. I haven't looked at those for a while. Boop, 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 boop. Atlantic Firearms. Do we have a... Can I find it? God damn it, I only find a American importer of it. What could... it's impossible to find it. Anyway, the Baril AKs are really, really good, according to anyone I ever talked to them about. So let's see here. It should look something like this at least. So having this wonky folding stock, this little brace thing with our Picatinny rail on top of it. It should be really good quality, and they have their translucent magazines. Those are Polish magazines. I have some of those for 762x39 myself. So yeah, it probably looks something like this. They're pretty nice. Yeah, whatever. Tobias wants to know, can I apply for an extra barrel or a... So the Swedish police, at least in Stockholm, won't let you get anything for an AK or an AR. They have basically said that any barrel, anything, whatever, is going to be handled as a separate rifle. You can't buy another upper, for example, at least in Stockholm. Other places that might work. But in technical terms, getting a complete upper is an entire firearm. So they're not wrong. If they're going to mess with you for getting an extra barrel, then they're wrong. Greg says the MR308 goes a bit under 50,000 Swedish krona, same as a DDV5. Well, I would still get the DDV5. It's just, I would say it's probably a better firearm. But yeah, an HK is an HK. If you're a fanboy, get an HK. I'm not going to judge. Captain says, hello, I started making my own 22 long rifle suppressor. The boop 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 is done, and the boop 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 is done. Okay, well, good for you. The closest I ever got to making my own of those is just buying some shit from China and drilling my own hole through it. It worked, but it wasn't pretty. Pagao says, nice. So they had an Colt M16A1 surplus on ARS. Would be cool to have one of those. Yeah, those are really nice. I'm not sure exactly where they're sourcing those from, but those are surplus ones. There used to be a lot of that shit on the surplus market after the wall fell, or at least after that little barrack opened up in Germany. And I think those ended up in Austria. You could buy stripped lowers, M16 lowers and stuff like that from Germany before they changed the law back in 2017. I think I saw someone on Blocket selling a complete M16 full auto lower for a lot of money at Blocket, which is basically a trade site in Sweden. There are no laws against owning that in Sweden, but yeah, I would still not buy it if I owned an AR-15 because obvious reasons. Could be counted as some kind of preparation to do a gun crime or something if you owned an AR-15. Still had to have some stuff in the upper to make it actually shoot full auto, but I don't think the police would care about that. You can't just put an M16 lower on an AR-15 upper and expect it to work. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But yeah, that's obviously the hard part, to get a complete lower. Blood Eagle says, I applied for a CMG 22 long rifle conversions kit for my Schmeisser SB15. But that could work if it's the drop-in bolt, the CMG drop-in bolt. It's kind of shit because you're shooting through a regular 223 barrel. But yeah, it should work. It should be fun at least. Just get the specific magazines for it and just drop it in. Yeah, it'll be probably super fun, but you can't expect good accuracy from it. So I had some other news I found. Let's just blow through those first. So for those who own firearms in Sweden, you all know it's kind of expensive with ammunition. And everyone is going to want ammunition as well, especially now when a bunch of people are buying semi-autos, right? A lot of stupid hunters going to mag dump into the berm from the hip, if I know people correctly. But Norma in Sweden is going to fire a bunch of people. I don't know why. 45 people is going to be fired. And the reason is they can't sell enough ammunition, apparently. How can they not sell enough ammunition? We're on the brink of World War III. At least we have a humongous war in Europe. A bunch of people are buying shit. I know Norma has trying to be established in the US. Just send their ammunition to the US. It will be bought. I don't know why. Someone is fucked up majorly at Norma. How can they not? It's like ammunition, toilet paper and porno. That's the shit you want to buy stocks in. Somehow Norma still managed to fuck up. I don't know what they're doing. So this happened. Police officer managed to fire his or hers handgun at a hotel room. Oh, it's a her. Who could have guessed it's a her? Well, I'm a bit sexist now, but shit, it's always a her for some reason. Speaking of women, 2 young girls, 17 and 19 years old, sentenced for serious gun crime. One got a slap on the wrist, I guess the 17-year-old, and 19-year-old got 2 years in prison. So what they were trying to do is they got a semi-auto handgun. Probably not this one. This is what the police used to use. And we're gonna break out 2 people from some kind of place for criminals, I guess. So yeah, that's the youth of today. Get yourself a handgun and try to break people out of prison. It didn't really work, and they got sentenced to this. Well, that's what I found. It was mildly amusing. Our folks says is guessing that Norma will move to another country. Oh, I already have some bunch. Yeah, that's probably what's happened at Norma. I remember I worked at Ericsson for a long while, and what Ericsson did was they basically, so one factory in Sweden, they fired everyone, and then they started a consultant company and hired everyone in that consultant company, slashed their pay, gave them worse working conditions, and yeah, and another factory, Ericsson, just fired everyone and built a new factory in Estonia or something. So that's probably what's happening with Norma. They're gonna just fire everyone and sooner or later, and then build up a factory someplace else where they have basically slave labor. We'll see. Christian says lack of primers. Yeah, well, doesn't Norma make their own primers? I don't know. Path Trampled by Deer says they probably had a government Glock. So for those who don't know why that is funny, a couple of years ago, a bunch of Glocks got stolen from Regeringskansliet, which is where we had a socialist government, and that's where basically the government is sitting, or like the prime minister and everyone. That's their workplace. Their desks are there. So they got stolen from that place. Everyone, when they discovered it a couple of months later, because they have no control, they all went, "Ooh, this is so bad, this is so bad." And next week someone stole the rest of the Glocks. And the only one that's been found was like in the hands of some 14-year-old gangster kid in the suburbs. So I don't know. Could be that these two girls had one of those. It would be hilarious. It's so ridiculous. The same politicians that is bitching and moaning about civilian gun ownership is the same politicians that managed to do that. To be fair, it's not their personal responsibility. It's the actual guards and police officers or whatnot that's actually supposed to take care of that. But at the same time, the people we have the most issue with regarding gun rights and etc. is the police. For some reason. Whatever. A little rant. Blood Eagle bought magazines from England to his handgun. Well, there is this really huge English site. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Is it still online? Yes, it is. So let's see if these guys have... so you can see the link here. So this guy, I bought magazines from these guys and they have a lot. So let's just type in HK and see what we can find. Oh shit, here we go. HK MR308 20 round. Is it in stock? It's not in stock. Sorry, whoever in chat that's gonna buy an HK MR308. It's not in stock. Do they have anything else for HK? Oh, they have these stupid magazines for the MP5. It looks like that was it for HK MR308 magazines. Yeah, so they might have it on their webpage, but you're not gonna actually be able to buy it. All of these magazines have been bought up by people who own an HK MR308. And they're not on the market anymore, the civilian market, because in Germany these are illegal. You can only have 10 rounders in Germany because of Firearms Directive. So let's see if arms24.com has any HK MR308 magazines. This is a big German store. I bought several guns from them. Yeah, well, here we go. Only 70 euros. And well, is this a 10 rounder? Kind of looks like a 5 rounder. It's so tiny. Mighty magazine capacity. So you can get 10 or 5 round magazines. So you can get a proper hunting magazine here, and you can get a 10 rounder. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. You're not going to find the 20 rounders. So that's why you get like a firearm like this that can take Magpul mags. Then you can get the regular Magpul magazine, right? So Magpul magazines are always going to be available. Hello, Ledsar. Skål. Anything new about the EU? No, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the EU shit lately. There's not going to be much news, legal news, until later this year, like in November or something. Then we're going to know more about what's happening regarding laws and shit in Sweden. As far as I know, something might pop up. We'll see. Foul Weather Friend says, in Germany, German laws apply to their entire world, so no new CV MR308 Max will be produced by HK, probably. Yeah. So, does Magpul actually produce any of those? Let's have a look. P-Mags, AR-15, M4, M16, SR, blah, 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 AK, blah, 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 blah. No, they produce for the G36 and they produce for the Steyr AUG, but they do not produce anything for the MR308. The MR308 is like a luxury rifle, same as Daniel Defense, but the thing is Daniel Defense is less fucked up. And just the magazine situation, like an MR556 or something, or 223 or whatever it's called, the 223 version, that's probably a better buy if you really want an HK, because that gun can actually take Stanag mags or Magpul mags or whatever mags. You don't have to buy specific HK mags unless you're a collector or something. But the 308 version, well, you're kind of shit out of luck. Manga VG90 says Firearm still makes big CV magazines, just doesn't ship directly to consumers, has to go through dealers. Yeah, same with Oberland Arms, for example, as well. And Magpul is always Magpul. And there's the company in Serbia. What's the name? They make quad stack mags. They make 30 rounders. They make 40 rounders. They make a lot of stuff. Most of them work fine, but the quad stacks are always going to be messy. Quad stacks are always going to be a range toy, according to me at least. Kind of the same with most drum mags as well. Magpul drum mags work, but they're big, heavy, and cumbersome. And the old type Soviet style AK drum mags in 762x39, those work. They just work. Those are nice. I have one of those, obviously. I have drum mags from Magpul just because I can. Yeah, I seldom use them. It's mainly because I'm a stupid collector and kind of want to collect them all. Right, so same lesson today as last Friday's. If you're a Swedish hunter, go out and buy an AR-10 and shoot a moose with it. Send a picture of you with the moose and an AR-10 to me on Discord or my mail address, heintron@gmail.com, and I'm gonna watch it and have a good time. All right, I don't have much else to talk to you guys about, so you guys have a nice weekend and go to the range and have a good time. As I said, I'm gonna go to the range and zero my hunting rifles, and next weekend I'm gonna go to north of Sweden and see if I can find a moose or a bear. We'll see. I'm probably not gonna find anything. Oh, whatever. See ya.